Welcome to another Gr8Scott Demo. In this video, we will continue to cover more system preferences, focusing particularly on the dock. Demonstration levels would generally fall under one of three categories: easy for beginners, moderate for average users, advanced for long-time users, and those who just desire to learn more. This particular video should be easy, and I sincerely hope a lot of fun. Let's get started. Because we're discussing the dock, I'm going to select System Preferences from the dock. By default, it's usually located in the lower right-hand corner of your dock. Otherwise, you can still go up to the Apple logo in the upper left-hand corner, click and come down to System Preferences, and it will land us at the same location. The dock is the item located on the bottom of the screen by default when you first get your Mac and log into it. It holds the applications ideally that you use the most. You can add items to it and remove items from it, and we will discuss more on that later, but for right now, let's focus on the dock itself and the manipulations that can be made from system preferences. The cursor is currently blinking in the search window, also known as Spotlight. Spotlight is the built-in search engine in Mac's operating system OS X. We're going to use it to isolate the dock by typing DOCK. And if you notice, as we type, the list narrows and it has a focus on what's related to the dock. This item is highlighted, but very shallowly. If you notice that the dock itself is highlighted much more bright as they order the spotlight feature or the brightness based on the relevance of the search. So we're going to select dock from that list, and the very top item says size. If we slide this from right to left, you notice the dock shrinks at the bottom, and if we go in the opposite direction from left to right, it grows. But we're going to leave it relatively small to demo the next feature, magnification. So you notice how small the icons are now, but by selecting magnification, and we have the magnification by default is all the way over to max, as you hover over each item, they magnify. So it helps you to identify the item that you desire to click. And in this case, I'll click the Finder to open up a Finder window to perform a demonstration a little bit later in this demo. And I'm going to increase the size a little, and the position on the screen right now is set at bottom, which is where it's located. But if we click left, it moves it over to the left side of the screen, and if you notice, the magnification continues there, or we can turn it off and then just be on the left hand side without the magnification. Turn the magnification back on, switch over to the right, and much the same. And it's really just a matter of preference, but for the sake of the demo, I'm going to leave it on the bottom. Double click a Windows title bar to minimize. Right now, if you notice, if I double click, I'm double clicking now, nothing happens. But if I select that item and now I double click, it minimizes onto the dock, onto the right hand side, and notice that bar there is always on the right side of that bar. So again, we double click and it minimizes. Minimize windows into applications. I'm going to open up a Safari window also to demonstrate this feature, so we'll be able to distinguish between the two. So if I double click on the Safari bar, it minimizes. Double click here, minimizes. And if you notice, they're both minimized in a thumbnail preview on the right side of the dock. However, if we select minimize window into application icon and we go back and double click, it minimizes behind the Safari application icon. And likewise here, this should go down in the Finder icon when we double click it. Now, it's a matter of preference, but I don't like that item simply because it's hard to tell what you have open compared to minimizing them onto the dock on the right side. And that way you can see or have an idea of what you actually have open. I'm going to skip over the automatically hide and show dock for just a moment to demonstrate the last item, show indicator lights for open application. If you look very closely, you can see a little light on the Safari, and there's another one under the Finder that tells you that those applications are open. If we uncheck that item, you notice there's no light now, so there's no way to tell. It's nice that they give you the option, but it's kind of strange to think why someone wouldn't want to know what they had open or have some indication. Now going back up to next to the last item on the list, automatically hide dock. If you notice, as we select automatically hide, it dips down, and if we go down to it, it pops up and move away. So if you like the idea of just having a clean desktop, and even if we were to double click and minimize the item, they're on the right side of the dock, but it's hidden until we take the mouse and hover down, and there you see them, and also you can see the dock. But as we move away, it hides again. So I'll uncheck that feature so they stay on the surface. I will show you a couple of other things very quickly before the end of this demo. If you notice this bar here that separates the icon, the applications that are waiting to be launched from the dock, and on this side, these are the ones that we have minimized. But if you notice here, it says downloads. Downloads is what's referred to as a stack, and a stack is a quick reference to a folder. So if we click open Finder, it'll open up into downloads into that particular folder where your downloads are. If we wanted to create an additional stack, we could drag pictures over to the stack, and likewise, right now I have a folder in there called screenshots, and if I drag this picture down to that pictures folder, it pops open and I release, so it removes it from my desktop to that folder. And if you notice, it shows a picture representation of the picture that I just dropped in there. And if you click, they keep them lined up. But if you right click, you have the option to change the order. You can change it, which is fan now, but grid, and click on it and it shows them in the grid form. Or you right click again and go to list and you click it, it shows them in a list form. And one last time we click and go back up and we change it back to automatic, which is the fan. I'll show you fan just so you see, and that's what it is by default. So we go back up, change to automatic, and that's how that works. So you can put any folder you like on the right side, and it becomes a stack that you can manipulate. I'll open that folder back up, drag that item back out to my desktop, and I'm going to drag it to the trash this time. And if you notice, the trash can application goes from empty to showing that it has something in it. So if you click on the trash can icon, it opens up and shows the content of it, of what's in the trash. If we right click on that item, we can select the item put back, and by selecting put back, it will allow us to put the item back on our desktop. It popped up here. Let's try it one more time. I'm going to close the Finder window, drag the icon to the trash can, open up trash. We right click and come down to put back, click put back, and it moves it over and it opens up the desktop folder. But as you can see, it puts the item back on the desktop, and we can drag it back into the trash, and you see the trash icon changes again, and select empty trash. Yes, we want it empty, and it's gone away. One thing I will note about the trash can in OS X compared to Windows, Windows allows you to delete or purge from the recycle bin one or multiple items. On OS X, it's all or nothing. When you select empty trash, it will empty all the items. It will permanently purge them all. So just keep that in mind. Here on the dock, that bar in between, if you right click, those same preferences that we got in system preferences, such as turn off and on hide, that's a shortcut for you if you like to select. You see the magnification is still on. We right click and we can turn the magnification off just by right clicking and selecting the item we want, and the same with the positioning of the screen. And the final and last thing we'll demo is the express the Genie effect compared to the scaling effect. With the Genie effect, you minimize, and you notice it's just like sinking down into a genie's bottle. Whereas if we selected scale, it will just go from large to small rather quickly. But to get the full effect of what it looks like, I'm going to hold down the shift key this time as I minimize, and you notice it makes it go in slower motion, and the same with blowing it back up. By default, it would be set on the Genie effect, and I personally think it's a little cooler. But when you click, same holding shift down so you get the full effect, and collapses into the Genie bottle, and holding down shift as I click on it to maximize, and it comes back to full size. I turn my magnification back on, and that is the dock. Hopefully you learned something new. You're having fun learning about your new Mac. My name is Richard L. Scott with Gr8Scott Demos, and thanks for watching. Please click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube, and give us a +1 if you're viewing this on Google+ if you like the video. Please subscribe to the feed, guys, as More Gr8Scott demos are coming. I couldn't be great except for God's grace. Thanks again, and be blessed.